Yeah, that's pretty cool. Yeah, I'm gonna end on here, but yeah, that was fun. That's a game. We were losing wow, 37. You see what I'm talking about? Look at the XP you get on this. 37? Yeah, man. Same at you. That was GG on that, for real, for real. Like, even, I gotta say, even Ran and all of the folks, man, everybody played well, because that game was super close. Like, it's the end that changed, but it was super close. We were down by a lot. So far, I haven't. So here's the best way I can say, if you're wondering what's the meta. Yeah, no, the chain gun feels horrible. The primary chain gun needs damage. It needs it like really bad. And if they're gonna increase the damage on that, they also gotta pump the damage up on the heavy to keep them to scale correctly. But the main chain gun's damage is so low that it can't. If you have 5 bars of health on full spin, you'll run out of bullets before the person dies. That's how bad it is. So yeah, that's bad. I played with it too. I have a video called "Man, This Is So Hard." Like, playing with chain guns, it ain't easy. So I agree. They definitely gotta bust. They gotta pump up the chain guns, both of them. Their damage needs to go up, so they don't change the bullets or anything else. And if they want to keep the health the way it is, that's that. The combination that works is any weapon. The whole idea of the meta. Oh yeah, man, good game too. Ran was a monster. Bowling Penguin was annoying also. Like, I kept running from them because that was the easier thing to do. The main meta in this game right now is to have a nice combo weapons that you can actually switch between your heavy and your primary, and use them in combination. Like, another strange combination that works real well is Primal Eye with the Heretic. Is a very strong combo. Heretic with almost anything is actually pretty strong. So that's the thing I like about it. Oh, Infinity Rift was real. Like, I'm not sure who's real, so that's why I don't like usually say to people, yeah, let's go. But yeah. But nah, it's nice. It's really nice. So, like, the build that I'm running is I call it the Infinite Rush, and here's why. If you look, I have running gun on the rush. That's in rare. My heavy doesn't, but it has scavenger, which is nifty, because it's also partially in the banner. Anytime I kill a human, I get 20 of a small pickup. But because it's in the secret banner, anytime I get small human stuff, I also get ammo. So they're connected. So that's the interesting thing about the secret banner. The next thing that I'm running is my leap attack. It has run and gun, which is weird. That's why I have that. Another 15% on my running gun. So combine these two, 15, I'm already at 30%. Then if you look at my trinket, it also has running gun. That gives me another 45%. Then the next thing you'll notice is I have agility on here. And I believe the primary has agility also. So it gives you a really high cooldown on your freaking on your rolls. So that's why you can see that every time I fire my 3 shots, I can roll more ammo, roll more ammo, roll more ammo. That's why it's literally an infinite. That's why it's really infinite. Yeah, the rush without mods is really tough to play. If you don't have run and gun and you don't have a few agility mods and a few run and gun somewhere, rush is rough. It's a really rough thing to play. It lies the fact that it needs 1 more charge. If they gave it 4, I think it originally had 4 and they nerfed it down to 3. If they gave it back to 4, nothing else would matter. If not, if you're not going to give it that, reduce that reload time. Bring it down to 1.6 or 1.12. It needs a faster reload time, or it needs more ammo. It needs one or the other, or more damage. Pick. But it needs one of those 3 items needs to go up or down, depending. But it needs a buff in that way. It needs a shorter reload time. I think 1.6 would be fair, or it needs way better, what do you call it, charges. Give me 4 instead of 3, or give me more damage, because range ain't doing much right now. Give me more damage. It needs one of those 3 things, because without mods, I don't recommend you playing that gun. When I played it in .02, it was so good. Bowling Penguin like has his probably at level 20, but that weapon was so good that I stopped playing it because I was afraid if they nerfed it, I would be in a lot of trouble. And that's why I started playing so many different. I had enough guns to play different guns and not be trapped. The Primal Eye in .02 was so broken. It had like a 95% hit rate. I didn't play it because I'm just like, that's so cheap. But the meta was everybody and their mother had Primal Eye. Everybody. And then when they went to .03, the chain gun got buffed. The meta became chain gun, double chain gun, everybody. It was like that a little bit for .4. Then it got balanced around .5, .6, and it was pretty decent. It needs another fix. It needs a buff right now. The primary chain gun has to have more damage. This anemic 117 with 72 bullets ain't doing nothing to nobody with the amount of health everybody has right now. It's useless. I literally had somebody on full spin trying to shoot me. I ran by because I was running triple protector with a lot of mods that are pushing up my constitution also. So I had 5 bars and a quarter, and he could not kill me. I was able to temporal rush through 4 people and backpedal backwards while a chain gun on full spin is hitting me, and I still had a bar and a half after I did all that. So I think it's either you bring down the health down from 1,000 per bar to 750 per bar, or you give the primary weapons, some of them specifically the chain gun, they're gonna need more damage per second. They're gonna need, their damage has to go up, even though that the spin up is so much faster now. The activation delay is super low on both the Finlay and the stuff. It's really fast. That's great, but they don't do enough damage. That's their new problem. Their damage is too low. No, look at that. Wait, what gun is that? Wait, go. That's Finlay. Yeah, that's why. Look at the Finlay's damage, 200 and something. Yeah, man, they could definitely bump that up to like 150, 160 easy. They can do that. Like that's not even, why are we even talking about it? That should like happen now. I'm gonna feedback that for real. If somebody hasn't done it yet, the damage needs to be somewhere between 160 to 180, and it keeps it under. So what level am I? I'm level 13. Yeah, because there's people higher than me. So I'm seriously, by now that should be around 160. So I think the base should be like 130. It's only going up by 2. So let me see, 13 to get to 26. I think we should be. So let's say at this level, I say about 180 right now, and then going up to 182. And it's going up by 2, so that would have been 26. Yeah, the base should be 160. The base should be around 160, 150, 160. So that's what that gun has to start at. Yeah, no, I'm gonna put it in, but that's the base damage. The base damage needs to be at minimum 150. Minimum 150. I think 160. So when you are 13 levels in, you gain 26 points of damage. And compared to your heavy, you're going to be, yeah, they're both at 13. Yeah, that would be at 200. The other one's at 160 or 150. 50 difference. I think that would be fair. And I guarantee that bump in damage would make the gun feel like way better. Because how am I at level 13 and I just reach, I'm at 117. It barely does damage. That's insane. That's why that gun feels like trash. This gun to me is really rough. I don't play it, but I've been asking people who played Northern Warmth, what do they think would be a good buff for this gun? And I don't think range would do it, because I don't like it that much. But maybe some damage might help, because right now, everybody's telling me that this gun gets good at around level 10. No, it doesn't. Some people say level 12. I don't think so. And one Eclipse literally said it doesn't get good till 15. There's no way that you get a gun in the game and you need to get it. Yes, it is. It's the best combination in the world. So Commotion Dispatch, because of their reactivation delays between the two guns, if you switch between them, keep tapping between both guns, it'll be an endless stream of bullets. That's what makes the Commotion and the Dispatch work damn near flawlessly together. If you go between them, it's almost an endless stream of bullets if you keep switching between the two. Yeah. That's a Bisbee secret, but a busy secret, but that's why if you ever watch Busy, Bizzy, Bizz, or used to be Inspector Gadget, if you watch him play, he plays just as well previous patch as he's played this patch as he played previous patch. Why? He's always mixed in his heavy and his primary when he's attacking. Everything I've seen him play, it's always been that way. And most of us who don't have a problem with this patch, that's how we play also. That's how I play too. I always mix my primary and my heavy to kill you. Like, I found out if you can literally get the objection, you can get the objection and the primal eye to fire at the exact same time and hit somebody. You can get the primal eye in the heretic to fire at the same time to hit somebody. It works. Literally, you'll see both bullets hit the person at the same time in an instant kill. That's how I've been playing since patch 4, 3, 2, 1. Like, name the patch. Whichever way, I've always mixed my heavy and my primary, always switching off between them. That's why I was able to use chain guns like fiercely in .02 when the chain gun was completely broken. I mean, and not in a good way. Like, it was so bad, most people couldn't play it. And I figured out how to play it. Same thing with Lost Dreamer. Really slow gun with really bad range, but I was able to get that thing up to level 8, level 9 because of I used it. Like, I just had to aim it and just keep firing consistently. It's just that my Lost Dreamer is so strong right now at 413, and whenever I use it, I always use Nullum Guard with it, and then I always find ways to get its damage to come up. Yeah, it's super strong for me. So it's my favorite gun. It fires at the right rate. I like its reload. I like the amount of health it gives me also. So that's why I prefer it compared. Probably later tonight, probably after around 8:30, 9 o'clock, after I finish walking the dog. So that's when I'm going to stream again. That's what happens when I stream like 2 days. Now, it's funny. It's like if you played Vainglory, I used to look at the way the items worked, and I used to love reading the websites where people were explaining builds and how things work together. So that's the thing, and there's a lot of really cool little nuanced things inside mods, and certain weapons have really great synergy together. Like, you wouldn't think this, but you wouldn't believe it. Primal Eye with Dispatch is actually really good. I think Dispatch with anything is actually really good, especially if what you're dealing with has a very long reload time. So yeah, it's really cool. This is why I'm trying so hard to make this game as polished and as balanced and as enjoyable for most people, even casual players, at the detriment sometimes to taking away things that make it easy for me to play. That's why a lot of the guys were complaining about this patch. The fights are taking too long and I can't just blow people up like I used to, or not really thinking about this correctly. I understand it forces you to change the way you play, but it would be more enjoyable for more people than you. And like, it's the same way. Like, one of my favorite abilities in this game is grounding bolt. I demanded that I kept fighting, saying that the range of the grounding bolt was too high. I used to say the charge time for the grounding bolt was too low. And I thought the slow was so strong. It's still kind of high, but the slow used to be so strong and used to last so long that it was oppressive. I mean, I hit you with a grounding bolt, 9 out of 10 times you die. Like, you would not escape. You would not survive. And it's been nerfed about 4 times. And I think it's finally at a point where it makes sense. Because if you look at the charge time and the fact that the grounding bolt has 2 charges, it's literally a grounding bolt every 5 seconds. 5.1 seconds. So before, the charge time used to be 8 seconds. Are you kidding me? Every 4 seconds, I used to get a grounding bolt. And I purposely would only shoot it once. So I always have one in my pocket, just in case if I needed to stop a sunder or I needed to get a speed boost so I can score a flag. That's why every time you see I use grounding bolt, you would always see me throwing it at the air, because it gives me speed boost. And it's a speed boost I can get every 5 seconds. Like, come on. Like, what? How doesn't that make sense? So yeah, they literally nerfed it in the range I said. I said it should be somewhere between 12 to 14, and it cannot be, its range should be that. And I think that they have to increase the delay to, I would say, 14 seconds. So every 7 seconds you'd get a grounding bolt. I still think that would have been fair, but they went up with 5.1. But I can tell you the balance of it now, and the duration at level 20 is 2 seconds. When I had it at level 10, before they nerfed it, the duration of the slow used to be 3.4 seconds at level 10. What? So that's my point. I love the grounding bolt. There's a point where I stopped playing it because I was so dependent on it. It was in every build because it worked so well that I'm just like, yo, if they ever nerf this thing, I'm in trouble. So I started playing all my other stuff. That's why I was able to get stuff to level 5, level 6, because there were certain things like the heals, I would not play them because the heals were so anemic compared to the rest of the game that I wouldn't play them. And the heals feel good now. The heals feel good. I like the way they feel now. They're not impossible to overcome, but if you're in danger and you heal, you actually survive. And that's kind of what it is. But if you're surrounded by 4 people and you heal, yeah, you're going to die anyway. But if it's like a one-on-one and this guy just hits you and he's hitting you with primaries and you hit your heal, or he hits you with a heavy and he doesn't get you square and you hit the heal, you'll live. And that's what I think should happen. So that's my only thing. So yeah, like that's what I don't think a lot of people are thinking through. You want the game to be really balanced and really fun to play for everyone. You want people, when they buy an item, they don't regret getting it. This is my reasoning where I keep saying stasis. People are like, oh no, stasis is just fine. No, it's not. Its charge time is ridiculously long compared to shield. And the fact that stasis, when you use it, you can't move, you can't shoot. And I found something really funny. It doesn't consider like you're out of combat. So your health regeneration doesn't start either. So there's a situation where I was like really low energy. I was facing somebody. I went into stasis and I'm like, oh, cool. Because I'm not in the fight, this bad boy is going to basically get my health back. Stasis ended and he shot me. He literally stood out there, didn't do anything, waited for stasis to end and shot me. That's how bad it was. And like I said, it's situational. I've used stasis once or twice where, boom, I hit it. Boom, 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 people shoot me. Boom, teammates come in. I come back out. Da, 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 we win. But out of, let's say, 50 uses of stasis, I've had 4 to 6 really good outcomes. because here's what I do when somebody uses stasis in front of me and I know you're using it. I have a Lost Dreamer. I just keep shooting at you with the Lost Dreamer. Your stasis ends, I kill you with my Lost Dreamer. Like, it's not that hard. I have not had, the only person who's caught me once or twice, but after you figured it out, Bowling Penguin will go into stasis in Core Rush, and then stasis ends and he pops out his primer. Yeah, once you've seen that twice, you're like, oh, his stasis in there. So I'm going to back up, wait the stasis to end, let him bring out his Isia, let him use the deep freeze, then jump in with Sunder and kill him. Like, I mean, once you see the pattern of what can be done with it, there's a way to block it out. It's very situational. One of the coolest features of stasis is using it inside a bush. That's funny because the person can't see it. And then they come, they launch the stuff in, and they're like, I got them. Like, why didn't he die? They run into the bush, and then you come out of stasis and like light them up. Like, that's one of the funnier versions of using stasis. But my theory is, when I'm in stasis, let my health regen start. Consider like I'm instantly out of combat. Just regenerate my health. So when I get out of stasis, I have a full health bar. That's all I'm asking for. It doesn't necessarily mean I'll survive, but it definitely gives me a fighting chance. If I'm surrounded by a team, it doesn't matter. But if it's a one-on-one, let the stasis, depending how long you stay, it starts regenerating your health. If you stay in for the full, you get full. If you don't, it only goes up to a certain amount. Soon as, let's say you started and you got out of it, it moved up a little, and that's it. I think that's fair. So that's what that's one. If not, I was saying, how about doing like 20% at level 20? You get like 20% damage reflection. Like with those Torton dropping 10,000 hammer strikes on you. Imagine he's getting 20% of that for every time he hits you. Or he's about to hit you, stasis, boom, 2,000 on Torton because it reflected that damage at level 20, of course. But it's better than it just standing there and you can't do anything. And here's why I keep saying that. You'll look at the shield. Shield is annoying, bro. So you look at the shield. Shield, look at level 1 shield. It's 14. It's 1400. Look at the time it takes for shield to come back. 15 seconds. 3 of those seconds when you're using shield. So really the reload time of a shield is like 12. But you can use a shield 4 times in a minute. Stasis, I cannot move. I can't shoot. I can't do anything. It lasts a little bit longer than shield. But it's an 18-second recharge. Why? Protection. Whoo! They definitely increased the duration. That is hot. I still think the charge time on protection is ridiculous. It's ridiculous that it's 22 seconds. 18 seconds. 19 seconds. 20 seconds. 22. Ridiculous. I should be able to use it 3 times in a minute. I shouldn't have to wait a minute and 6 seconds before I can use it 3 times. That's my issue with that. That's just stupid. And then you're going to look at the catalytic version of the same thing. Look at that. You can use it twice in a minute. When I see the catalytic version of shield, it's better than stasis. Absolutely ridiculous. That's my issue with these two. And I still don't understand why in all of the catalytic versions and of all of them, I think they fixed it, but yeah, they did fix it. Healing totem is good anywhere. I don't think they should touch the totems. I thought the totems are really interesting. I actually like them all. I think they work really well. I just think what they should do is if a person is using them as a support, for everybody who's taking healing inside their stuff, they should be getting points for that. Like for every person that the amount of healing that they get, they should get like 2. So if the person heals for the whole time the totem's there, they should get like a point per person that walks through it and stays in it for a second or something like that. But I think they should support people should get a little bit more points in that respect. I think you should get points for playing support, because if you look at your score when you play support or you play escort or you play defender, you don't get as much points if you go whole hog running around getting flags, shooting people and stuff like that. War mode is the most balanced mode and it's fun. To me, I like it a lot because you can get a lot of XP and you can do a lot of stuff. But yeah, but those are like my issues. The only reason I keep mentioning these things is it's because what we're trying to do is get the game as good as possible so it can be a smash hit, so they can have some resources that they can put back to Vainglory CE and add at least a ability for us to go in as groups. Because if we could actually do that, then I wouldn't mind playing with the guys on the Hive server because everybody likes playing it. And I stopped playing because, like right now, if you want to play with your friends, everybody just has to try to get into the same game. And you're not necessarily going to be on the same team. I went into one game and they like playing ranked. At least if we were playing rank against 10 people who are all agreed that we're going to play, we don't have to sit through a draft. And then the second to last or the last person basically AFKs the draft. That's why I never play. I don't play rank, because it's really infuriating to sit there for a good 5 minutes and then have a person like right at the end just leave. That's why I just play casual. So that was the whole thing. But like, yeah, that's what I want. This is why I'm trying to say, hey, I want this, make that better. I don't want people to have regret buys. Like, I'll tell you, Bracelet of the Firstborn is a knock, hide and seek trinket. This is specifically for knock. It's specifically for the relic and ability called hide and seek. Why? This thing only gives it's a support item that only gives your team shield when you transform into primal. Only one primal has the ability to transform multiple times. Knock. Only if you have the hide and seek relic. Literally, this is the only person or only primal that this works for. I've used it. I thought it was broken because I misread the activate your primal ability. I thought the ability meant the primal power. So I thought it was broken. And then when I read it and I kept reading, I'm like, oh, of course it only works once. We only can transform to a primal once. The only other times that works is if you're fighting a dreadnought and you get it and then you get it again. But again, it's so specific. This is a knock. This is literally made for knock. It's not made for anybody else. It's made for knock. It's not made for any other primal because it doesn't really make sense. That's why I think logically it should be linked to the power, because in most primal transformation you can use the power maybe about 3 times, two if you're lucky, pushing it 3 times. Again, knock is the only one that can use it a lot, but Isia can get at least 3 or 4 2 deep freezes out. If you're lucky and you have enough health and primal duration buffs, maybe 3. So I could help my team 3 times. Sunder leap attack. Sunder can get that leap attack out like 4 or 5 times. So Sunder could help the team. Torden can does his thing maybe around 3 to 4 times. So then that makes more sense. You tie it to the power of the primal versus the transformation of the primal, because almost no primal can do multiple transformations. So it's kind of useless. So that's that. So I'm going to end the stream here. For all of those who are there and for all y'all who ask questions, I appreciate you. And like I said, I'm going to try to go up probably around 8:30 tonight, Eastern Standard Time. And I'll definitely be posting in the chat on the CB server just to let everybody know. If you have any questions, if you have any, you want to play together, you want to friend me, we can do that. So it's kind of cool. So that's it. So as I always say, keep your eyes, your ears, your hearts, and your minds open, and I'll see you next stream.